At 9:17 a.m., a single tree in Auckland turned the sidewalk into a stained glass cathedral, and nobody could explain why. Mara noticed it first because the light didn't look like light. It looked broken. She was walking her little brother to school, half awake, thinking about packed lunches and missing socks, when a band of color slid across the pavement and wrapped around his sneakers like a ribbon. Red, then orange, then a clean slice of green that made him gasp and freeze. "Did someone spill paint?" he whispered. Mara looked up, expecting a prank. A hidden projector, a car windshield throwing off a weird reflection. But the street was quiet, just damp air, a soft breeze, and that tree, an old, broad-canopied giant crouched beside the footpath like it had been there forever. And yet, underneath it, the ground was alive with rainbows. Not one rainbow. Dozens, thin, sharp bars of color, like prisms scattered and stitched together, moving as the leaves moved, shivering across the concrete, crawling up the curb, sliding over the toes of anyone brave enough to step into them. A jogger slowed. A woman with a coffee stopped mid-sip. Someone lifted a phone, and the screen flared with oversaturated color, as if the camera didn't quite believe what it was seeing. Mara's brother stepped forward and laughed, because the light followed him. It painted his socks. It climbed his legs. It split across his hands when he held them out like he was catching it. And then, without warning, it intensified. The sun broke through a thin seam in the clouds. Just one bright push, and the tree answered with color so vivid it felt physical. The pavement looked wet with rainbows. The air itself seemed textured, glittering, as if you could reach up and pinch a strand of blue between your fingers. That's when the unease started. Because sunlight doesn't do that. Not through leaves. Not like this. People began searching for the trick. They circled the trunk, peered into branches, checked nearby windows. Someone tapped the bark, as if expecting it to ring hollow. And then an older man, quiet, thoughtful, knelt down near the roots where the color was strongest. He brushed aside fallen leaves, and his fingers stopped on something that didn't belong. A fine, clear film stretched between branches and twigs, catching the light at just the right angle. Not spider silk, too wide, too even. Not plastic, too delicate, too perfectly placed. A recent pruning, he suggested, sap weeping, drying into thin sheets, tiny droplets left from last night's drizzle clinging in layers, a web of nature's accidents aligning for a few minutes of impossible math. The explanation sounded reasonable until the wind shifted. The canopy trembled. The colored bars wavered, then snapped apart like a broken cord. One by one, the rainbows thinned, faded, and vanished, leaving only ordinary morning light and a patch of pavement that suddenly felt empty. Mara stood there with her brother, staring at nothing, heart still thumping as if it had witnessed a secret. Because for a moment, the world's like it was trying to show them something. Something beautiful and brief. Something you could miss by walking one step too fast. And maybe that's the point. If you felt that flicker of wonder too, help this channel grow. Like, share, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. What's the strangest, most beautiful thing you've ever seen that nobody else would believe?